What is poppin' squad? It's your boy Jesimein. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. Today, we're going to be talking about how I feel about the game or the status of the current game. Now, we know that the raid hype has came and it's still here. Obviously, it's not like it's subsided or anything, but we're pretty much on the downslope of the raid hype. Everybody has pretty much tried it at this point, tried, failed, whatever. I personally haven't beat it. I haven't had time. I tried the boss Boomer early on, tried for 9 hours, and your boy got smacked, and I'll take it as a GG. I'll try again another day. But I wanted to spend time talking about the division and how important things like the raid and stuff are for the game. So obviously the raid was huge. It was a huge success. It brought an insane amount of difficulty. It brought a lot of players who necessarily didn't even know what Division 2 was into watching it because it was a big hype fest, right? On Twitch, they had a grip of viewers. I had 2,000 viewers myself. It was just a big deal, and you can see what happens when the division flaps its wings and how much beauty can be behind it. Now, where I don't have a problem with this at all, I mean, if anything, why would it be bad in any way, shape, or form? The raid was fun. It brought in a lot of viewers. It was great. I don't want the nerfs to the raid. I already said this and all that, whatever. I just now know by seeing the numbers Division was pulling and seeing the amount of hype and the amount of discussion that came around the game, it basically confirmed that I know the potential of this game has yet to be tapped into on both ends, PvP and PvE. So when you mix all the mechanics and all that thought process and put that into the best version of a PvE experience you you have something like the raid, a challenging experience where a lot of people are, you have to be coordinated. A lot of people argue. A lot of people, get stressed and they have to wipe and all this stuff and all this crazy stuff that you necessarily don't have to really worry about when you play the regular base game. Came to shine, right? And this pretty much confirmed to me that this game's potential can be that all the time if done correctly, which means, in my opinion, I feel if they were to do something similar for PvP, I mean, obviously they can't do a raid or they can't do anything like that, but I'm saying as far as mixing all the mechanics, figuring out how something works, getting to a point where PvP can be a big ordeal, like, I don't know, like an event or something, you can probably do some amazing things and probably shut a lot of the naysayers and haters up as far as this game is and what it should be and whatever. It has its own identity. People who play Division 1 still to this day hopped on to try the raid. That's how much excitement it was. I feel if we were to have some kind of effort put towards PvP in that nature, I'm not saying PvP doesn't have effort put towards it. I'm just saying to that degree where it's such a big deal, I feel like we can really have something special, and for me, that's what I pretty much want. I mean, obviously, we have our own taste. We all have our own desires with what the game should be or what it should produce for us. I mean, and that's okay. Everybody has their opinion, but I truly feel the raid was a big statement to how much of a success this game actually is, despite the criticism that a lot of people are giving it due to the fact that things aren't balanced or this, that, and the third. So for me, PvP has always been huge. PvE is fun. I have no problem playing PvE because I have to grind my gear anyways. I'm not one of the people who cry and say everything should be handed to me or I shouldn't have to PvE or anything. Like I joke around and say, oh, so you're going to force me to PvE to get the raid gear or whatever, but that obviously that's a joke. It's raid gear. It should be hard to get, but ultimately I think what it comes down to for me, a lot of people expect content surplus, right? Everybody's like, we want to make sure we want to have builds, we want to have the PvP gameplay, this and this. And for me, I mean, like I said, I have no problem making content for this game. It's always going to be a thing for me. I just feel no matter what I say or do, PvE is going to be PvE, and people are going to already pretty much know that, and everything's going to be covered. There's not really much I can make on it. So I will gravitate towards PvP, which is where I have the most fun anyways. It's the most fun I could possibly have because it's unpredictable. Things can change, variants change. I go against different level players and all this and that. If they were like bringing survival DLC, I think that would be something to hold players off while they completely like balance that their PvP, because I know they said they're working on it, but I feel like that will buy them some time. Obviously, it's easier said than done. It has to be something that they probably like put ahead in time with their schedule and all that. I just feel if I was a developer and I can't get whatever the community is crying for. Like, I honestly, I don't even know at this point. I don't keep up with it. I just have my own lane I've been staying in. But as far as what people are complaining about, if you can't fix that quote unquote ASAP, I feel like giving them something in the meantime will definitely do that. And like, you can kind of see that the raid took a lot of focus off of a lot of things, which is 100% good. I mean, I'm happy for that. The raid was amazing, so it just should have. But you can just see when big updates come, how different the game feels and how much players actually hop on at the same time. I feel like all those players want to be on Division 2. They just everybody has their own reasons why they don't. And I think for me, yes, there's a lot of things I love about the game, but there's a lot of things I'm like about. I don't necessarily dislike anything. Like, I don't have a problem with PvP anymore, really. The Defender drone thing's not an issue. I haven't really ran into PvP issue, but also at the same time, I haven't had too much PvP as of late either. I ended up getting the Nemesis, and it brought another layer of fun for me. So I'm being able to like one tap things and stuff, as you can see, like when I run up on this dude. I think I hit this shot right here. Yeah, so stuff like that make the game fun for me, but obviously a lot of people get bored really fast, and they feel like they can only run control points and missions so much before they get tired. And being that the Dark Zone isn't as active as it used to be, or necessarily, well, I mean, I guess that could change, right? Because they changed the brackets. I haven't really been in there that much, so I can't really speak on that. But ultimately, what people say, it's just not the same or whatever. I feel those are super easy fixes, especially if they can buy some time with big events like this raid, or like something for PvP, as far as like a game mode, or just something that's going to draw players in. This game is actually amazing. You can see the concept pretty much come into fold of its identity and what it actually was supposed to be. It was never meant to be Division 1, but it was meant to feel as close to Division 1 as possible without straying too far. And I think at this point it's established its identity. I don't see people questioning that this game doesn't know what it wants to be. It knows what it wants to be. It's not going to be Division 1, and I think a lot of people are upset about that because they like the fast mechanics and all that stuff. And as much as I would like that, because I love movement, that's always been my thing. I personally feel this game and the status of it and how it's played and the pace isn't designed for that, and I think people are going to be upset regardless of how good the game feels. Now, for me, I have fun with the game. I don't have real complaints. I just don't find myself as sunken in as I was in Division 1. But that's not because the game necessarily bad. That can be a variety of things. Maybe I just grew up a little bit. Maybe, family and stuff. Whatever the reason, I just don't feel like I put in as much time so much. I still plan to, but I just don't feel as inclined. And I think that's what's driving a lot of players away, is that they don't feel like there's a real reason. Because right now, pretty much the only way to get those gear sets are through the raid, which means you have to find 8 players. Some people don't have 8 players. Some people don't even have friends to begin with, and it's like a big problem for those people. But that's what's offered right now, right? That's the newest content we have. Regardless of how we feel about it, that's what's going to be the headliner. And right now, I would say probably for like the next 2 or 3 weeks, the devs are going to sit on the raid, because as they should, right? Probably thinking about tweaking or whatever to reassess how they want to do this in the future. And I honestly give them a 9 out of 10 as far as a raid. The only problem I had with the raid is just a little bit frustrating on certain issues. Not impossible at all by any means. I said this a million times, and I'm glad the console people's proved that. But ultimately, I just feel like it is an excessive challenge for people who don't have friends. So matchmaking may or may not be something that they consider. I don't know, because I have people to play with, but I can imagine how frustrating it could be having to play by yourself and not be able to even enjoy the raid, let alone be able to even get those gear sets because you can't get it. So I don't know how I feel about that, but overall, I still love the game. I still think it's fun. I still think there's a lot of things to do as far as crafting and making sure your character is as OP as possible. I just would hope now that the PvE side has been like ultra satisfied. I mean, you already had the majority of the game. Now you have a raid that's PvE. Now you're gonna have excessive loot and stuff for that, and you guys are set on PvE. I just feel like now of all times should be the time that PvP should get that nice little love tap. Not even a love tap. It should get some kind of overhaul, some kind of love to actually bring that side of the game alive, because it's such a waste of potential when it's not. So it's pretty much it, you guys. Like, I just want to share that with you guys. I honestly feel like this game can go beyond what we thought. It still has a chance. It's not dead, and it still has a lot of potential that needs to be tapped into. And I think this raid proved that that the devs can actually work out something amazing. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know how y'all feel. Let me know if you guys agree with me. Let me know if you disagree. And if you beat the raid, let me know in the comments too. Shout out to you guys. And if you didn't, you're the same team as me. But it's been real. That's how I feel about the current state of the Division 2. Your boy is out.